What came out this morning in this morning's session was pretty interesting because I started off with a bit of a sore throat, a bit of a tight throat. So it was it was a bit of work just to get through that initial set of breathing I always do first, just to warm up and tune in and focus and get a bit before I start the practice and start counting into it, just to make sure that it's I'm keeping a nice rhythmic pace and that I'm working myself into that trance, but starting off with a little bit of a sore throat, which happens from time to time for me. So it was definitely a point of focus, and when I come to just asking myself, what's up and what's going on, really that physical feeling in the body, something come up and quite clearly saying, hey, this, you only get this because it's you only get inflammation when you've got an imbalance of something, whether it's acidic, too much acid in the blood, or you've got, something else, other issues starting to come up, or just a symptom of stress, of course, when you start to get inflammations in the body. And then not like an alarm bell, like get your fucking shit together type thing, but just as I guess my body gives me warnings like that, saying, hey, this you're doing something that's a bit out of balance. You're doing something that's not in your best interest. So that coming up was interesting because it's been, I guess, at the top, something on everyone's minds lately. What am I going to do when the lockdown lifts? Thinking about all the shit you're going to go and eat, like the KFC and the. I've really just got a thing for pizza. So, but that kind of thing. Really just a reminder to say, hey, like, yeah, you've been lucky to not have those temptations around for a month, and the body's actually reclaimed a lot back. I've lost a lot of weight and feeling really good and just on a different mental track, and just a reminder just to say, hey, remember what's actually important and what's actually good for you, and to keep doing those things. And yeah, I like to allow myself to pig out, and if I really 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 want something, I'll do it. It's just a reminder to keep a lid on it, and retain that self-discipline. Otherwise you just end up going back into where you were, that same physical state and that same mental state as well, of just satisfying lower urges and needs that aren't really serving you and doing the best thing for you. And also that soreness in the throat, that thyroid in the throat, that's one of your key chemical, your glands, your key chemical factories for healing and repairing the body. So damaging the thyroid. I've always been an on and off smoker as well, and of course during these periods of stress, it's like I had turned back to smoking, and not as regular as I used to, of course, only maybe 3 or 4 a day, but still it's more than enough to start triggering things in the body and start to pull out my adrenaline and cause a bit of inflammation and things like that, and as well as make breathing a bit more difficult when it comes to doing a breathwork practice. And at the end of the day, I see those things, those are just remnants and relics of the time past, those addictions, and being completely aware of those addictions and what I'm feeding, and just not being ignorant towards what I'm doing and where it's come from and where I'll allow it to go. And of course, it's the sort of thing, it's our generations and what we do right now, our time, that's going to make that a thing of the past, and just accepting it and saying, hey, this is something I do and I'm not ashamed of it. It's just it's something for me to work through. Yeah. So yeah, this morning really was just physical symptoms, and just having those focused clearly and shown to me, and saying, hey, just be aware of what you're putting into your body, because that's what you're going to notice and feel, because it's important. And your body's telling you and showing you these things for a reason, and just to be aware of that and and do something about it. So yeah.